All right, everybody, welcome in. This is going to be another Stormgate cast, and this one's going to be featuring, as you see here, this is Dopamine playing the blue, playing the Vanguard, and his opponent in the red, playing Infernal, known as Alpha Storm, but also known as Wallace. This is Wallace. And I once again have grabbed these replays off untapped.gg where Wallace has made his replays public, which I'm always grateful for. Oh, that didn't look like that worked out right. When he placed the building there, it killed the effigy. I didn't know that happened. But no, we'll pretend that we didn't see that. Meanwhile, Dopamine's got his own command post going up with some overcharged servos over here, but that was after creating a Rax and sending a scout out, which I've commented a few times. Ooh, gets the second effigy. That's really rough on Wallace here because he's relying on those effigies to speed up the building. Of course, that's newly added in a recent patch. But with the first effigy being accidentally cancelled and then the second one going down from the scout of Dopamine, that means that shrine's going to take extra long to get up. That's just going to delay the eco a little bit for Wallace, which might be good for Dopamine, given that at the moment the Infernal eco is considered to be pretty fast. Now Dopamine, going to steal the camp. Meanwhile, we got Wallace still creeping, and it's a Lancer out here being like, oh, I want to kill some Gaunts. Is he going to get any kills? Nice splits there from Wallace. Try and keep those Gaunts alive while also creeping. And now trying to get a free Lancer kill. Are they going to get them? Nice Fiend control. The Lancer moving into the woods to try and minimize some surface area. But, and getting the creeps. And Dopamine trying to be very insistent here, but there's a lot of units from Wallace. He's got a single pup and a Lancer, and the Lancer's just like, doo-doo-doo, don't mind me, I'm hiding in these woods. Pops out, tries to kill Gaunt. Oh, gonna get a Gaunt. No, runs away. Runs away. And there's that there's the dog. The dog gets it. Oh! Great little micro battle. And where's that pup going? Running through the base, just being like, I own this place. Probably going for the healing camp, maybe. Maybe going for that other... There might be another cabbage down here. But just healing up. Wallace still maintaining a pretty nice force of tier 1 units here. Whereas Dopamine's up to, what's this, 6 Lancers now. More Lancers on the way. As well as a Biokinetics lab, which means probably exos and some upgrades. And that's not very surprising. In this patch, we've been watching as Dopamine's been playing a lot of bio, and I think has really figured out how to make that bio work, even in a scenario where the Infernal faction's a little bit favored. Now all these Lancers trying to get on top of the Gaunts, getting lots of AoE with their splash damage. They're killing a ton of Gaunts. Brutes, however, getting free reign on the Lancers, and almost all those Lancers go down. So, I don't know if that was the trade that Dopamine was hoping for. Oh, finally getting that Lancer. Finally getting the Lancer. And, also getting that Rax. Another Rax goes down. What is it? We got speed building, but no, it gets cancelled as well. And Wallace chooses to pull back from this. Not wanting to attack into the well-positioned buzzsaw cannon at the back here with not a lot of surface area and not easy to get to. But look at this, an unprotected base here. Well, I guess there is now a sentry post up. Lancer manages to get inside to make it a buzzsaw. And I guess Wallace doesn't want to overcommit here. and pulls back. And we see these are all tier 1 units here. No upgrades yet for either. But do we have a health forge? There's a health forge working away. Nope, not working away at all. Does that mean the brute upgrade just finished? It's gone. There we go. Yep. We have Infernal Fury now. Nightfall Infestation catching all those units. Gets on top of them. Nice little socks around on them. Shields up on one of the Lancers. Dopamine with his nice micro to get the effigies as always. But that really is not going to change the outcome here at this third base. But maybe this auto repair or this mass repair on the sentry post will help. Exos come to help, but they're going to die. And now these brutes and gaunts are just saying, fine, we're going to go straight for the command post. Once it's down, there's really not much else here. We can take out the servos and the buzzsaw. A couple exos coming in from the north to try and, you know, pick off a brute here and there while not making themselves super vulnerable. But Wallace is happy to kill the base before pushing into the army. And at that point, a ton of exos got built. So we're now up to about 7 or 8 exos. And again, Wallace is just trying to kill from the outside, saying, fine, I'll just take out barracks, I'll take out habitats. A few of my units might go attack this army, but really good micro and stutter step here from Dopamine to pull his army back and keep them alive. But again, that's playing a little bit into Wallace's hand. He says, fine, I will go back to attacking your base. But actually, no, he pulls back. He pulls out. Goes back to the Shroud over here. It gets a little bit of healing over there, but where are you headed? You're going to creep? Decides to go creep in the middle of that. And that means this Brute and Weaver are going to get taken out. Look at that nice stutter step micro from Dopamine. And now Dopamine realized, oh, I kind of got you trapped in here. And what that means is he can stutter step all the way back to his base and probably kill off this whole army without taking too much damage. We see how the stun manages to allow him, or allow Wallace here to grab some of those exos in the stutter step. So the stun goes, crabs one, huge Nightfall infestation there, caught every single exo. But the exos are just able to get a lot of damage while they're pull back, pull back, pull back. Lancers showing up to form a front line again. And the exos are kind of low. They're getting low here. And wow, maybe an overcommit there from Dopamine. Trying to get as much damage as he can. But again, you need those Lancers in the front to be doing the tanking, soaking up those brute hits. And that gives the exos enough time put down that damage and chase him back. And for the moment, this is a pretty good sort of hold and push back from Dopamine, even though he lost that third base and it was a little bit of a, took him a little bit of time to put that back up. For the moment, at least, Dopamine still is in this game. Now behind this, Wallace has put up a fourth, and we see the transferring imps right now. Wallace is just taking this base. We've got a Harbinger there, which could be for a drop or maybe just for cheap Shroud. When upgraded, they can also do their seismic stun. Now, okay, I'm like, where are you going, Dopamine? I think Dopamine was just going to check to see if there was a base there, or maybe if Wallace was out creeping there. And has returned back home now. Ooh, we have one servo here. Is that a scout servo? I'm not, you don't usually send one if you're going to expo. Now Wallace has a little drop here while creeping out the energy camp. That'll help the Weavers, I guess. I mean, there's not much else there that takes energy. Wallace skirting around back and a drop right on top of his servos. Brutes out, stun down. Lots of lost servos already. And he just loads back up and goes in. Meanwhile, attacking the third base. And it looks like maybe going to get a drop. Yeah, it just drops down on top of the base. Kills the base easy. And now it's going to be toe-to-toe army. The Exo's hoping to get some damage done here on the front line. Lancer's also there, soaking up some damage. But it just looks like there's enough here for Wallace to push Dopamine back into his base. These Exos are now surrounded by brutes, and they need to pull back. But once again, Wallace, not wanting to lose his whole army, decides to pull back after killing the base. And that means that Dopamine's Exos once again have done a really good job to push back this army, and we see all of them have some level of veterancy. Meanwhile, the medtechs are also going to help them heal back up so that they're back to full when these units face Wallace yet again. So here we are again for a second time here. Dopamine's been able to push him back after losing the third base there. And with the ability to speed build, this base is back up again. It's already up and functioning, so yes, there was damage dealt there. I think the greater problem for Dopamine is that he's starting to fall behind in the tech. We see the fifth base basically up for Wallace here, which means while Wallace is maybe trading kind of evenly with Dopamine, he's going to be able to pull ahead and has pulled ahead supply-wise. We can see that with look how many Weavers have been added, even a mag. And I kind of like this, at least in the current meta when brutes are a little bit overpowered. Having 1 or 2 mags is maybe all you need, at least in a normal sort of match, maybe versus certain compositions you might want to have a Magmadon focus comp. But brutes kind of fill that role right now. They got the stun. I like this, just a few brute. Ooh, huge Nightfall infestation. And Dopamine, okay, Dopamine I thought was going to fall for the bait. But no, Dopamine realizes, okay, this army is going to come pull back around. And that means that the brutes here have chased these servos all the way into the natural, where a couple servos are just body blocking. That was clever. So he just stopped them from working, and that means that they start doing collision. And these brutes get to go home. That's very rare when you split off a little strike force like that they get to go home safely, unkilled. But that was because Dopamine didn't really fall for the bait there and was back home protecting against the larger force. And now we're at a 300 army for Wallace. No dragon, though. That's strange when it's 300. You usually see a dragon. Oh, okay, so the servos pulled down the trees and are going to the center. I like this daring play from Dopamine. And what are these units doing? They're scouting out for the army, I think. Meanwhile, Dopamine's doing a little creeping. He's got a giant brute force right under his nose. Brute and Weavers. This is... Oh, there's the dragon. 314 supply. So we're over supply now. I guess you can still build the dragon when you're at maxed out. And finding this secret base after it's up means all these buildings are going to go down. Actually, maybe not. We see them pulling out. As it's going to be an army versus army battle here. There's just so much more for Wallace. And Dopamine is pulling back. We get Shroudfall on the whole map. And this has got to be it. We're going to watch these units try and do their best to hold the line here. But there's so many brutes. Brutes in behind the brutes waiting to fight when the brutes before them fall down. And that means that these Exos are just going to go down. A couple Vulcans in the back somehow managing to stay up and shredding through the Weavers actually. But that will be GG. Alright, we're back at it. This is going to be a second game between these two. This one's going to be on Furious Resolve. And once again, in the blue Infernal, this is Alpha Storm, aka Wallace. And his opponent, repping the red, playing the Vanguard. One of the best Vanguards out there. This is Dopamine. And Dopamine again doing that. Oh, this is a kind of standard opening for him in this patch. Is he's gonna go for? Oh, I was gonna say he's gonna go for the scout first, but no, he goes for a lancer. Maybe I've been misreading this build. I haven't actually watched him do it. I assume it was scout first. Or maybe this is a variation on it now, which is, I assume it was scout first to get some scouting done, but maybe you pump out the Lancer first. Let's see what he queues up next. Yes, and then it's the scout. Okay, okay, interesting, interesting. And I don't know 100% why that might be. Here's a few guesses. One might be it allows this Lancer, which is slower to move, to get out here quicker and start the creeping. And the scout can be faster and run there much quicker. So that's my guess. It seems like that's what's happening here because the scout is not going scouting. It's instead coming to help fight. And we have another Lancer queued up. Now meanwhile, Wallace has already started creeping, has taken the speed cap. I don't think either of them have scouted the other yet. So no one, they don't know that they're sort of nearby each other to some extent. But now we have a scout out from Dopamine trying to find where the opponent is. Now, he just scouted through here but didn't go into the actual base. I wonder, I guess he knows his timings well enough that he might be like, okay, he'd already be building his third. Finds the army out on the map, which gives some clues, right? And also sees camps being taken. So probably has some clues already. Probably is working with more information than I have at the moment. And that's just because Dopamine is a very smart player, for sure. And has played way more games than I have. So that game sense is really well honed. A couple Lancers are going to try and run by here and get into the base and turn this into a little bit of a harass. You hear those imps turning to fight. Lancers trying to get some kills. I think they got one imp there. A little oversaturated here again. Imps turning to fight. Oh, a couple imps go down there. Lancers trying to run around the other side. Get some more imps. Getting some more imps. Alright, I feel like 4 or 5 imps have gone down. Maybe 6 to the 3 Lancers. That's pretty fair. Oh, and meanwhile in the front there are a couple more Lancers. But those ones are not going to get the damage done that they want. Oh wait, there are a couple more in the back. I didn't see them. And they're running in to lure the army out. And there's just nothing here to harass. One imp showed up. These Lancers get cleaned up in the main. And now these 3 do get an imp kill. And then they're going to run away. So far Dopamine getting some pretty good harass in. Some of the Lancers seem to have been, you know, maybe sacrificed for free, but others did get some pretty good kills. So maybe all in all, this might be fair trade. We'll see. Meanwhile, though, we see a lot of units out of Wallace here. And this is just the style of Infernal right now, is these tier 1 units are really good, so make a lot of them. Especially in the early game here, you can get some pressure. And I think these Lancers are just doing their best to try and stop that. And yes, I love this. Get some imps. Kill the imps. One imp trying to build a structure to save himself. That's always a good strategy. And again, another 4 or 5 imps went down there before the army came back. And wait a second, now we have a lot of army on the move. These Lancers, oh, one left alive. And trying to lure the army away, but you see how Wallace is only using a small number of units here, while the rest of his army has actually moved forward to take the Vision Camp. And if Dopamine was just coming out to capture the Luminite Camp and is going to move home, seeing that Wallace's army was there. And that means surrendering both these camps to Wallace. Oh, there's a scout over here. Wallace doing the micro to send his 2 brutes around to get the scout. And Dopamine doing a good job of keeping that scout alive, running it away, running it home. trying to harass him, but these Wallace has a big army here, so Wallace is able to kind of push that dog out of the vision tower at least, but didn't actually end up capturing the Luminite camp. And we see as Dopamine's already sent his dog back, but Wallace is also... Oh, where's that brute going? You're supposed to be on hold position, my friend. But now Wallace can take, or sorry, now Dopamine can take the camp. I don't know why I'm confusing them. My apologies for that. Wallace pulling back to his base, being a little bit more defensive, only on 3 bases right now. Does have the Hellforge, is just about ready to go up to tier 3. We'll see if he does. Because instead, we're watching Dopamine go for the Skull Squisher. And of course, the Skull Squisher means we're going to get a V5 rocket launcher. And we're probably going to get a little push coming out here. V5 rocket launcher on the way. Brute's already out here. Oh, boom! V5 rocket launcher gets lashed in and taken out. So now we just got to battle out on the map. A nice effigy going down to make this sort of home territory for Wallace, meaning they can heal up just a little bit there. We see some servos going out here to try and get onto another base for Dopamine. Dopamine expanding across the north and choosing not to expand towards Wallace, which I think is wise. And here we have Dopamine catching these units on the map while they're creeping, and Wallace has to pull away. And oh, we see a little bit of turn and fight, but no, yeah. Okay, FG goes down. And these units, we've got a huge toe-to-toe right now. A little bit of stutter step from Dopamine to pull those Exos back, let the Lancers and Vulcans stay on the front line there. But now it looks like it's Dopamine who's going to have to pull back. And yes, Wallace has the upper hand. Dopamine trying to rush back, hoping that some of his reinforcements can get there. But these two split up for now. Both of them regrouping. Dopamine trying to get a bigger bio ball up. You need those Lancers kind of sacrifice themselves on the front while the Exos put down some real damage. Of course, Lancers can deal some pretty good damage too. Speed camp reclaimed by Wallace. And Dopamine still being very active on the map. Looks like he's going to head over to the Ethereum. And Wallace also active on the map. Trying to... This tower has definitely been the tower they've been fighting over. Once again, there's a Lancer back there. Again, I like this micro. Oh, choosing not to drop instead, saying, hey, I got a Weaver here. I can just lash you in, buddy. Use the Harbinger, I think, for vision. I don't know if Weavers can see over the cliff, but the Harbinger definitely can. Weavers can, like, see up, but I don't know if they can see over these sort of cliffy things. So the two of them are being a little more passive in this game. Trying to build up their economies. We're seeing now another base going down for Wallace. Up to, I guess, 5 now, not counting the double Therium. And, ooh, Lancers heading around over here. Oh, another base too. So these Lancers are going for the camp. We got Exos here in trouble. A bunch of brutes get on top of them while half of their Lancers were gone. They're unable to deal with this army directly. And Wallace, I think, tasting the blood in the water, wants to go for an attack. And I like how Dopamine is trying to go for a flank here. This is perfect. Can he get what he needs here? So, wow, this army is going to push into the third. And Wallace is at least being wise to be a little tentative here. Goes up the ramp. And that means... Oh, where are those other units? They're down here waiting for something to happen. We got a small group of units in the back there trying to make their stand, but we need the rest of the army to show up. And here it comes. Now we've got a little bit of a flank. We've got units on both sides for Dopamine. He's basically got the best possible positioning he can for this battle. All he can hope for now is that his units are going to prevail. The Lancers that were out on the map have shown up as well. We've got the three different prongs of this attack, and that means all these units for Wallace are going to go down. A few of them try to run and flee, but that was a perfect battle for Dopamine, who is now come out atop with the supply. We see the frantic remaxing of Wallace with so many Weavers. I don't know if that is the right answer. You need brutes for this. Brutes. The Weavers are good. You need 1 or 2 to lash in the Vulcans here, but you do not need, 12 Weavers here. Some Lancers going over here to get on this base while we're seeing a huge battle here. There, the brutes have arrived. System Shock trying to run away because this army with the brute support is now looking really dangerous. But there are Lancers over here killing imps. These imps are just lined up saying, please murder us. And that's what's happening. They get murdered. And a couple brutes, Bang Madon pops out saying, that's what I'm here for. I'm here for stompy stomps. Nice defensive mag. Wallace trying to deal with these. I love how these are just being really nasty, harass Lancers. Their whole job is to keep the army occupied. And now we see all those brutes showing up. Where the Weavers out here are on the map and aren't exactly... I was thinking maybe Dopamine was going to be able to come down and snipe some of them. But no, they do find themselves back with the safety of their brute support. More brutes coming back after cleaning up those Lancers. And once again, we see Wallace pushing forward, trying to get the vision cam. But right at the same time, Dopamine's coming down, and with a good little spread, Dopamine splits his units up instead of just moving them in. And lots of stasis drones on those Weavers, taking them out of the battle for now, which is going to mean that the brute, it's just brutes versus Exo. The Exos are pulling back Shroud Pull on the whole map. And, well, I think that was still pretty good for Dopamine, actually. The stasis drones really helped him clear out a lot of the Weavers. And Wallace is not getting what he needs out of this Shroud Fall. He maybe preemptively did the Shroud Fall, so the Shroud Fall has covered the whole map. But other than just getting that healing, here we go. He's pushing in just as the Shroud Fall ends. And that's a bug for Shroud up there. There is an actual Shroud up there. But this is a really nice positioning once again for Dopamine, with wedged all his Exos up there, meaning that the brutes and the Weavers can't really get on top of it. Servos out here tanking, meaning these Weavers are actually wasting their DPS on these servos. And so now this army, oh, there's no way these Weavers are going to get home. We see an effigy go down to try and give him that little speed boost on Shroud, but the Exos are in pursuit. Okay, they're just going to wait for this one to spawn out of the sentry, or out of the stasis drone. So Dopamine, now with 100 supply lead, is looking really good here. And again, all this Shroud is not real. There's a bug with the Shroud Fall. Helicarrier. We must be in Dopamine late game. It's Dopamine that I cast normally just does the bio play, either win or lose, usually in that mid game. But late game here, got a Helicarrier out. Just cleaning up the Weavers. The Dragon shows up, tries to use his power, but a huge Helicarrier versus Dragon here. The Dragon is actually not taking any damage, but now the Exos move forward and get underneath the Dragon and try and get some damage on it. At this point, there's almost nothing left other than the Dragon, and these Exos are doing their best. A ton of Shadow Flyers show up. We see Brutes and Fiends coming down from the high ground, but they barely even make it there before being chewed up by the damage of the Exos. Just one Dragon, hopefully trying to do some defense here for Wallace. But it pops, and that's got to be it. Yes, that's going to be GG from Wallace. And why not? Let's have a third game between these two. First two were pretty fun. They are tied up 1-1. We might as well go into it and see who can win this series. And once again, let me introduce our players. This is Dopamine. And his opponent, the Infernal player. This is Wallace. The Alpha Storm. Is he AI or is he human? He's human, to my knowledge. To my knowledge. Truth is, never met him. Could be an AI. Maybe he's telling us right out in the open here. He was coded by the Google folks. Because they're the ones who made AlphaStar. And that's where his name comes from if you haven't heard anything about AlphaStar. That is an AI that plays StarCraft pretty well. Let's take a look at Dopamine's build again. Yeah, he's going Lancer first. So, I've sort of been commenting that he goes dog first, but that looks like it's not true. And in fact, full on lie, he's going double Lance. Double Lancer. What are you doing, Dopamine? Changing it up when I'm trying to talk about your build and you just switch it up on me. I wonder, is it going to be 2 Lance into a Scout? Or just full Lance? Is this just a full Lancer build, Dopamine? Show me what you got, my friend. Another Lancer. Show me 3 Lancers. His Lancers were pretty helpful and strong in that last match. The early Lancer harass was did get some damage done and may have been a contributing factor to winning that game. There was something nice about watching those 2 Lancers kill those slimes with their well-placed attacks. And we're watching once again the Infernal faction be able to get really speedy with their creeping because of these phantoms, and I think we're going to see that get revisited. It just, you know, there's 5 creeps at these smaller camps, then you got curse immediately on your gaunts, so you know you have a free effigy. It's pretty much okay. Never mind, we got a battle here. Lancers here trying to get on top of the gaunts, chasing them away, and the gaunts being like, I don't want to die today, so we're gonna run away. And look how the Lancers force them off the shroud. And now Wallace wants to get back on the shroud for that healing and the benefits of the benefits, sorry, of the curse. And as soon as these creeps get back in it, we see Dopamine coming down to be annoying again. But again, at this early part of the game, the Infernal just has the military advantage and is able to push Dopamine back and able to capture this camp. Meanwhile, Dopamine keeps adding these Lancers. We're up to, what do we see here? 7. Eating a cabbage and going. Where are you going? Like, I don't know where you are. Oh, you're not here. You could grab that health camp while you're here, Dopamine. But no, I think, yeah, Dopamine wants to do damage, I think. Uh-oh, Dopamine. No, don't stop the fight. It's a trap. It's a trap. And Dopamine, I think, wisely is like, okay, maybe I won't go. No, maybe I will go for the trap. Oh no, Dopamine, it's a trap. It's a trap. Oh, a couple Lancers get trapped in the trap. And Wallace says, fine, I'm just going to take Therium Camp. Your Lancers did nothing. More Lancers? Ay, ay, ay. I don't know if this map lends for the same kind of Lancer assault unless you cut down the back trees, because all your Lancers have to go in the front door. A few promotes go down on the front line. I think we need the transition into Exos here. We do see that on the production tab. And Quick Draw Hustle going down. But Lancers themselves, just by themselves, can't do anything against this big of a tier 1 army from the Infernals. If he's lucky, he gets on top of the Gaunts, and he does get on top of some of them here. But yeah, I don't think there's enough Lancers here. Maybe there is. Maybe I'm wrong. I thought Bruce would be able to cut through this. And once again, there's just so much control from Dopamine to kill almost every effigy that gets dropped in these battles, which is just so important. It meant no curse. It meant no phantoms. It meant no healing. And that meant he was able to push this army back, actually. And I mean, sometimes he's overconfident. Oh, Nightfall gets a couple Exos. Are those Exos going to go down? No, they do manage to get away. But he's sometimes just overconfident with those pushing forward with his units. Okay, you know, some of these Exos need to go get healed up too, not just the Lanceys. There you go. He's like, yeah, y'all go, all y'all heal in the healing bath. What's going on here? Nasty little fiend trying to block the expo. That's not nice. Yeah, go down, buddy. So Dopamine taking the Luminite while we're watching Weavers and Brutes out of Wallace also come down here for the Luminite, it looks like. Third base just finishing for Dopamine. And we got fourth base already up and mining for Wallace. So this is definitely in the favor of Wallace. While Wallace is also, we hear that lumber imp doing his lumber job. And where you going, lumber imp? Where are you going? I thought it might have been like, oh, I'll put a little scout farm or something out here and keep my eye on my back door. Nope. We are going to build a fifth base, and then a sixth and a seventh and an eighth if I have any sense from Wallace's play so far. Never mind me. There's a big battle going on in the middle of the map here. Once again, effigy goes up and effigy goes down. Great micro and control from Dopamine. I think he realizes the Shroud is such an advantage to the Infernal player, and if you can knock that down, do it. And my guess is he probably is really good at boxing one Exo or one Lancer and send it off to kill that effigy. So if you're a Vanguard player looking for tricks, that's something you might want to practice. Hear the medtechs healing up their buddies. So that base is half done down here. And Wallace does have a pretty nasty looking force here. Weavers, Brutes. I imagine there might be some Gaunts in there, but I can't really see them. Harbinger has arrived. What will its role be? We've seen little mini drops in the first two games so far. And again, we're on Lost Hope here, and we know what that means. Lost Hope is lots of creeps, so more time spent out trying to get those creeps. And oh, get the effigy. Oh, he gets stunned. He does get the effigy. That was a permanent one, so he had to finish it off or it wouldn't go down. Ethereum camp gets retaken. So far, yeah, it's a lot of battling over camps. A couple little skirmishes out on the map. These Weavers, oh no, we're totally body blocking each other. This is not good for Wallace, or maybe it is, as all of a sudden they're in the right position for this battle. And really nice positioning for both of them, actually. Both have really kind of nice concaves, but the front line of Dopamine gets cut through way quicker, and we see that Shroud Fall going down for Wallace as he chases these up and cutting off half of those Exos. So those Exos go down before the other ones are able to get up behind the ramp. There is a flat cannon there that's very well defended. And oh, Wallace, not sure if he wants to attack into this or not. Decides to pull back for now. I think a good strategy here is just go down through these trees if you can. Like Weavers should probably be able to knock down trees or something. They're big folk. Just feels right. Now what's going on? Oh, this is a creeping force. Is this the whole army? Because we are seeing 100 supply lead from Wallace right now. This is the whole army. This could be bad news right now. Weavers going around the outside. That's not exactly who you want for the flank, because you can just walk underneath Weavers. They're not going to body block you in any way. And so Dopamine is able to get home after that. Now maybe a brute drop into the main here could be what Wallace needs. If he takes some of those brutes, loads them up, drops them in the main, that's going to force this army back, and then you just roll up the ramp. You just are like, fine, you're either going to have to deal with the brutes in the back, or you're going to have to deal with my army chewing through your buildings on the ramp. Again, of course, we have much better knowledge than Wallace does. We can look at the supplies right now and see, oh, you're up by 100. You're maxed. Dopamine's only at like half max. Just roll him. Just split your army in two and kill his base while you're, skirmishing his army. I like how Dopamine is preemptively splitting his units up. Of course, then he pulls back, so he's not getting the full benefit of it. But he is fighting out here with his front line, with the concave while he can, and then he's pulling back. This time he preserved his lancers instead of waiting for them to go down, which I think might be good. Now, fighting in his SimCity is good because it reduces the surface area, but look at how many of his units are in the back, not being able to attack right now. Running around being like, I wish I could figure out a way to attack. Now, luckily, the same thing was happening to Wallace. Is everything that Wallace has is melee, so there's almost nothing attacking there. And we're going to see a free Weaver kill. And, oh, catching these units out again. And look at the surround that Wallace was able to do by, once again, both of them have been doing really good at positioning their units in their army. And, again, also really good by Dopamine to keep preserving these units, pulling them back into the choke. And, oh, look at that. The flat cannon is so low, it almost got taken out. Wallace was getting so close to penetrating there, and I think, like I said earlier, just knock down the trees, buddy. Drop in the back. You have that Harbinger. This is exactly, fighting into Dopamine's hands when you're trying to charge up the ramp like this. That flat cannon got fully repaired. And once again, really nice positioning from Dopamine. And look at the stasis drones go down, so those are going to be some dead Weavers. Oh, actually comes in to save them, saves a few of them. This is not working in the favor of Wallace at all. Trying to force his way up this ramp. I think he's finally realized that's not working for me either, and is pulling back. Or maybe it's like, hey, I can attack creeps. Creeps are easier to kill than Dopamine. I still think the right move is a drop here or push through the back door. Fighting here, this base is just dead while you hold the ramp. You could just throw a few brutes here. And, Wallace is a great player with lots of strategy, so, I know he knows these ideas. I think he might just be thinking, I have so much more, I should be able to win. Now, he's caught these units on the map, and he's able to kind of pin them away so they can't retreat anywhere good. But the only way he wins this is to go toe-to-toe with these units and just try and take them out. And for the moment, the Exos on the high ground have been doing a great job, just like they were defending their own base. They didn't have a flat cannon or static D here, but they're being able to put down so much damage while so much of Wallace's army was unable to deal damage. Wow. It's still, Wallace is somehow still maxed, but it's because half his army is just the Remax army running across the map, trying to get regrouped with the front line. And so Dopamine was able to push him back there, but... Okay, Wallace trying to get a flank again. Dopamine's doing great positioning, pulling back. Look at these servos trying to get out. This is the bad point for Dopamine because he needs to get other bases up. You see he's rushed these other servos here to try and get it up. And now we're seeing a mag finally comes out at the 15th minute to knock down these trees. And finally, Wallace is like, alright, I'm going for your base. And this is actually great timing for one reason, which is we know those other bases are already mined out. What are you doing? Yeah, okay, you gotta... And I love how he took half of his army there, just in case of a desperate move from Dopamine to try and come in for the flank. And now Dopamine's lost that that base, and what's he gonna do now? He's trying to kind of push his defensive position forward a little bit. But I don't see this working very well for him. A few charge brutes get around the outside, down, or tries to take out the helicarrier there, but it's actually gets a shield up now just as it's getting low. And we see focus fire on the dragon, and Wallace suggests that he groups up, and I agree. Let's group up, Fruits. Get on top of these exos. Do your best. We have a small little group over here fighting servos. I'm not sure what that's about. Buzzsaw cannons, exos, really well positioned here. And I'm not sure what I'm seeing here as we see another max army of Wallace get completely chewed through and then remaxed. It's Mags now coming. The Mags are the answer is what Wallace thinks. I'm not 100% sure that's the right thing as we see stasis drones. We got a Hellborn in there as well. But the Mags, one Mag with the trample, forcing the Exos back. That is the answer. Stagger the tramples. Anytime those Exos move forward, just get a Mag and trample on in like that. Trample on in. Boom, 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 boom. That's my trample boys. Getting in there on top of this bio army. There's only so long you can sit at the top of the ramp there, says Wallace. I'm going to march my way in. And more tramples, more beautiful tramples, and that's going to be a GG from Dopamine.